Hi, and welcome to Turra Company, the mother-daughter podcast about everything. Our mission is to make herstory, aka history, not by going viral, but by doing something that has never been done before in our family. Whether we have 2 listeners or 2 million listeners, we are bringing you our very best, and hopefully we are learning and growing together in the process. Now let's enter into the Turra Company experience and create herstory, aka history, together. Welcome to Turra Company. Love that.
You could have faded it out though, but it's cool.
No, I'm gonna do it just like that.
Got it. Noted. Okay.
Makes me feel welcome. Anyway, how y'all doing? Company, you doing all right?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing so great. So swell.
Oh, you aren't the company I was asking, but it's good to know.
Well.
It's good to know. It's good to know y'all doing good. I'm doing good too.
I really feel like we need to address this because I said it the other night, and I don't think you really heard me. A couple weeks ago, you went on this little trip, the little company retreat, and went to the office in San Diego. Not once did you call.
Right. You know what? You're so correct.
I get it. You was not gone
Say
for
how
very
long
long.
I was gone.
You were gone for a full 48 hours, and we didn't get one.
It wasn't.
It was a
I
full
left
24
Monday
hours.
morning,
But
and I came home Tuesday night.
yeah, that's more
And
than 24 hours.
When I tell you from every month, first of all, but if you open the door for it, so I will tell you, I thought about it, but guess what? Y'all are grown. Ariel was sick. You were working.
Mom,
It was your 12-hour day.
all you gotta do is call me. I don't be
I
busy
know we didn't
at
even
work.
text y'all and say we were
No,
boarding.
literally, you didn't text say
It was
boarded,
a lot.
landed,
No,
none of that.
It was a lot going on because
Y'all plane could have gotten hijacked and we wouldn't have known. Not the plane.
you would have seen it. You would have seen it. No,
You
but
would've-
so it was just it's so fast track because we left, we got there. When we checked into the hotel, I had like 1.5 hours. Daddy had to change my bandage on my back, and that took a minute. It just was a lot. And then we went. When I came back that night, I was so snappy at Neil. No, not last night. The first day that we left.
Yeah.
Because they had like a dinner and everything, and I just was in so much pain.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot. I think I kind of overdid it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back, Neil was talking to me about something, and I kept being a little short. And he was like, I said, Neil, I'm in a lot of pain. And he was like, I can tell. So, I love that about him, that he just was like, what do you need me to do? Like, I came here to help you out. And I'm so glad that I took him. Because at first, I kept going back and forth, like, should he go? Should he not go? And I made the best decision because I needed him so much. I needed him to just do things that I couldn't do. So thank you, Neil. We love you. Anyway, what's today's show about?
Are you in my business part 2?
Revenge of the business snatchers.
Because people are still in our business. Get out of my business.
And this is the thing.
Please.
And this is the thing that I noticed. And this is why I wanted to have this show part 2. And we're probably going to do a couple more. The thing that I've been catching myself with is I've been in people business.
Really?
Well, I find myself drifting. So like there's times when, and I really want to make the connection. I wanted to have this show so that we on the panel as the host and our listeners can just have this dialogue, because I think sometimes people get in this cycle of doing things and it becomes second nature, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's becoming second nature. So I find myself getting in people's business, which is really being judgmental a lot of the times. And so I'll sit there, I'll see something or something will happen, and I'll be like, why did they just do that? And I'll start going deeper into it. And then the new thing that I've been doing is I've been like, it's none of your business. Like, I really been talking myself down. And I think I wanted to have this show because I wanted to share this, because it is very easy for people, and especially me, it's easy for me. I just will see something and I'll be like, that was stupid. Judgment. Why did they do that? I find I'm doing a lot of judgment. And then I just made a conscious, intentional effort where when I feel myself going down that road, it's none of my business. Because it's not.
Yeah.
It's really not. And that has really been helping me. So I wanted to have this show to share that with people because it's not fun, right? So one of the things that I don't like is when people are messy, right?
Yeah.
I don't like, and let me tell you what I mean messy, because that's a slang. I don't like it when people are, so you might be going through something, right? And then I might be a person in your life and you tell me. And instead of me helping you or listening, I start getting into your business. Well, why did you do it like that? Why didn't you do it this way? Why, and you start just trying to fix it, right? And then lately what I've been doing is like, don't even try to fix it. It's not yours to fix. It's not my business to fix. So, and it's not my business to tell Chelsi, because that's what people do too when they get in your business. So you'll tell somebody something, they'll get in your business and they'll tell somebody else. Why do she need to know your business?
Because if I'm telling my sister, it don't count.
No. If you tell me and then I tell your sister.
Oh, well.
Because I like to gossip.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, that's messy though. That's what I'm saying. So I've really been intentionally trying to keep it. It's none of your business. It's not my business.
Is for gossip. I love gossip. I wish I could gossip all the time.
You're so silly. But yeah, so I just find that people are doing it. I don't know. Have you guys ever encountered somebody, every time you talk to them, they know something about somebody else and they don't have a problem telling you?
Yes. And boy, oh boy, that gets exhausting after a while.
It gets really exhausting because at the end of the day, it's opening up the door, just like Chelsi said, for gossip. And it's just, the older I get, I just really don't have time for it. I'm trying to make better. I'm not trying to make worse.
Because my other thing is, you mean to tell me you have nothing else to talk about?
Right. And
Nothing
that's the
else.
thing. If you don't have nothing to talk about, there's a saying that people used to say back in the day. You know what they used to say? They used to be like, you need to get yourself some business. So usually when people are in your business and so consumed with your business, it's because they don't have none of their own and they need to go get busy with something of their own. And I just wonder sometimes, Ariel, do you go through this? Like you're in a new relationship, you wasn't in a relationship for a long time. And I think people was getting in your business when you wasn't in a relationship. Like, when you going to get a man? When are you going to start dating, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, the question I ask is, why do they care?
Good question. As soon as I have an answer for you, I will absolutely let you know, because I have yet to figure it out. Because here's my thing about it. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not hiding the fact that I have a boyfriend. He is not by any stretch of the imagination a secret. But like the part about the boyfriend thing that really gets on my nerves is how people treat it as like that's your whole personality the moment you get into a relationship.
Right. Like it's not good morning Ariel no more. Now it's good morning. What'd you do for the weekend?
What did your boyfriend do? Where did you guys go? Does he take you to places?
Right.
What is he like?
And people can be so invasive. Like, this is what I want to tell people. It is a such thing as too much too soon.
Yeah. I agree. Yes.
Don't ask me, you just met me yesterday and you want to ask me like super, super intimate stuff. I can't be more serious about this if I cried about it. Listen, because I'm the type of person, if it's too soon and you've asked me something, I will not answer it.
You're not into a good trauma dump?
No. What is a trauma dump?
Trauma dump is when it's like, that is like, if you're just getting to know a person, it's like you are both you're bonding over the traumatic experiences that you're sharing.
So you're just like, let's say Chelsi met somebody like a week ago and they're talking and she's like, they're both divulging like their entire childhoods to each other.
Right.
Or like
my parents weren't really around when I was little, so I really had to just grow up really fast and take care of myself.
I learned how to cook for myself.
I'm not saying that that's what happened, but
I know. But I guess what I'm saying is I get that trauma dump. But what I'm saying is you meet me. It's fine for you to tell me your stuff, but you meet me and you say, well, how long? This is way out there.
Because they shared, they expect you to share.
Right. Or they just ask personal details like, so somebody, I'm going to give this example. Somebody might say, how was your weekend? And you say, oh, it was nice. Well, what did you do? If I wanted to tell you what I did, I would have said it in that moment. Like, you don't have to go deeper.
So I'm so glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
What?
Because I've talked about her a couple of times indirectly, but I have an office mate that she and I have worked together now for almost 2 years. And when we first started sharing an office, our conversations were, oh, how was your weekend? Oh, it was good. How was yours? Blah, 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 blah. Now she and I will literally walk into the office and just be like, guess what I did over the weekend?
Right. Because after it's 2 years strong.
Right. After like a while, like that's how that ended up being. But
don't ask people their business.
No.
You can ask. And it's a fine line, right? Because you work with people, you see people, like you might bump into an old friend at the mall and they'll be like, girl, what you been up to? And you've given them the answer that you wanted to give, but they want to go deeper into the business. And you're like, if I wanted you to know that part, I would have told you that part.
Right, I would have been like, oh, it was great. I did this, this, and this, instead of just leaving it alone.
Or instead of just, where does your boyfriend work?
Oh, my God.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, where does your boyfriend work?
Oh, full disclosure.
How long has he been there? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I want to know. And I've really been I'm telling y'all, I'm going to say for the last couple of months, I have been very intentional when I'm talking to people, the type of questions that I ask, if I even ask you. Because I promise you, what people want you to know, they will tell you. I used to have this girl, story time. I used to have this girl that I used to hang around. She was like a coworker, right? This was an old job. And so what she used to always do is, she just always would go deeper and deeper with the question. It felt like it was in an interrogation. And I was like, no, you have to know that you're going deep. And I don't want to tell you that. Because if I wanted to tell you, I would tell you. So sometimes people make you lie to them too.
Oh, just to get them to shut up sometimes you can, I get that.
Yeah, and I'm an open book. I love telling people. But everybody don't get everything. And that's my right. And that's their right too, because what just happened to me recently? Something just happened, and Neil is Neil do not play when it comes to the business. He is. I think I've mentioned this before. He is not messy. He will not. The buck will stop with him, right? So a lot of times I'll ask him a question. I'll be like, Neil, so he might get off the phone with somebody, and I'll be like, what did they say? And he will look at me like, that's none of your business.
I'm going to challenge you on that. Because we also do be saying that Dad be dry snitching.
He does. But he doesn't. That's the thing. So he will tell our business, but he won't tell the other side.
Right.
So I don't know what that is. Because he was just dry snitching on you the other day.
All the time. It's always me.
I need to hear the story because I don't know what happened.
He was on the phone with somebody. Like, I never know.
Like, he always be on the phone with either, like, one of his friends or, like, family members. My name will never get brought up. But then he'd be like, yeah, well, Chelsi did this.
Yeah, nobody's asking.
No one is asking you about me.
He's volunteering your business.
Bro.
He was just doing it the other day. So because he talks so loud when he's on the phone.
Be all the way downstairs and we hear him all the way up here.
And when we were at the hotel the other day, I was like, Neil, why are you talking so loud? They can hear you. That thing in your phone is a speaker. But he was like, yeah, Chelsi is about to go. Like, all the stuff that you tell him, because y'all be bonding and stuff, and you tell him a lot. He'll get on the phone real quick and be like, yeah, because Chelsi is about to do this. And I'll be like, who is he talking to? Like, he was telling you had mentioned a date that you want to get married, and you weren't saying it like somebody had proposed to you. You just thought it was a date that you had that you thought was cool. I'm not going to tell you how many people Daddy done told that you getting married on that date.
So unprovoked.
So unprovoked.
Unprovoked.
Just snitching.
Dad's never getting nothing else out of me ever again.
Anything y'all tell him, he be telling.
Mm-hmm.
People, listen.
And then I go to call my grandmother, aka his mother, and be like, "Yeah, your dad told me already." Excuse me, huh? What?
But he ain't telling nobody that old raggedy stuff that he doing. Cause he be doing raggedy stuff, but he be
What's
keeping
that saying you always say? What's good for the goose
is good for the gander. Yeah. But I don't care to pass or take the bone. Like Neil, he gets like high off of it. So he isn't messy, but he will snitch. Like he does dry snitch a lot.
And for those who don't know what dry snitching is.
Yeah, get it. It's an African American colloquialism.
It's some of that AAVE.
So dry snitching is basically when
volunteering information that ain't nobody asked you about.
Right. With an unprovoked usually. Because at least with snitching, someone will be maybe like is asking you questions, interrogating you. Yeah. No. Dry snitching is if you just walk into the room and someone's like, well, such and such did. Unprovoked.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Now,
go ahead.
I want to take the "Are you in my business" to a different route, on a different route. Mm-hmm. I want to look at it from the aspect of a workplace. Are you in my business? Are you in my business?
Yeah.
In the aspect of you're not my boss, so why are you in my business?
The peer, what is it? The peer manager?
The peer manager.
Yes. That's what that is.
Like
when a peer is trying to manage you.
Yes. Like you have nothing to do with me. You don't control whether I'm here or whether I get fired. Like you have no control over that. Yet you are checking me and asking me questions like you are my boss.
Yeah. I don't know. And that's, you know what? I've been working a long time. I've been working since I was 15 years old because I used to work at the cleaners.
That's almost about 4.
It's a long time. And I'm going to tell you, in all those years, in the last 10 years, that thing that you're mentioning is like so prevalent. I don't remember it happening before, but now you always have that one or two, if you're lucky, people, because it could be, sometimes it's more, that feel like it is their job, that somebody gave them the manager position in secret. and they think that it's their job to look at your, look at your stuff and pay attention to you. And my thing is, how do you have time to do that?
Right.
Because you should be doing your work.
That's
Because I don't have time to watch nobody.
But let me tell you, you should be doing your work, but you're not doing your work.
You can't be.
It always is those ones. It's always those ones.
Yeah, you can't be doing your work because I don't have time to look at you and what you doing. I got to get my stuff done.
Right.
I'm too focused on my stuff, but it's annoying though.
Or I feel like another one too is it's like in the workplace too, is where you feel like you need to, like if I'm venting to you about a situation that I have, you feel the need to take control over it and then turn it into your situation and make it about you and be like, oh, well, you need to do this and you need to go and like try to delegate me on my situation.
Yeah, no.
So give an example, like, so you emptying the trash. What? Give me an example.
So like, let's say, ponder on this for a second.
Okay. Well, we'll keep talking while you're thinking of your example. Because I kind of know where you're going with that. But I want to get I want you to give me an example. I know
exactly where she's going.
Like, okay, so like I tell you that a situation happened and you just immediately take it and then like, let's say you take it to our boss. You're the one that takes it to our boss.
When it wasn't yours.
When it wasn't even yours to take.
Because it wasn't your business.
Because it wasn't your business.
I just was venting to you.
Yes.
And
you took my business.
And then you mentioned it.
And you took it to my boss.
And then boss come to me and be like, hey, I heard, whoa.
So the reason I don't like that is because in those situations, you didn't give me a chance to actually like
process it and like act on it.
Because then that becomes gossip, and that for the workplace is absolutely the worst.
Yeah.
So I'm the kind of person to where if something happens to me, I'm not going to react about it like immediately.
Mhm.
I kind of need to like talk it out and think about it. I kind of need to talk to a wall, right?
Yeah.
Before I actually like act on it and before I actually do anything.
Yeah.
So when you're one of those kinds of people that takes it and immediately takes it to the boss, you didn't give me the opportunity to come up with my own solution,
Right.
or to maybe maybe I had a plan for how I was going to go to our boss and say, hey,
Right.
this was a problem. And that way I could come to them with solutions. Because now you, the third party, look like a gossiper and a snitch.
Right. And sometimes, like for me, I want it to happen again. Sometimes I don't react. Like if you do something for the first time,
It might
I
be
put
a
it in
fluke.
my back pocket
Mm-hmm.
and remember, and I might not want to take it anywhere.
Yeah, and it might
have
be a
just
fluke.
been something I wanted to vent with a coworker.
Right, yeah.
I'll never forget story time. This was a crazy thing. So I used to work with this young lady, and we were a global company, international company, right? And the young lady that I work with, she worked in Australia, and she came to train me in our U.S. office. And so we were cool, I thought. And we went to lunch and everything because, we were buddies for that week. I think she was there for 2 weeks. And so when she was there was some commotion going on in the office because I had got a new manager and things weren't clicking with us, me and the manager. And so during one of our training sessions, I had shared something that the manager did with her. Now, all she should have did was listen to that. She got so emotional and amped up about my thing that she was like, I'm about to say something. I'm going to tell him. And I was like, well, that's not what I want you to do because I just vented to you.
Right.
I don't want you taking it nowhere because I just told you it was so much tension in our department at that time. I really didn't want nobody to say nothing. Something had just blew up and I came to our training and I told her. And I hate people like that like you said, they get all emotional and feel like they want to handle it for you.
Right. They want to take, like, almost like they see, like if it's a vent situation, like they see, like, your emotion in it. And it's like they think sometimes I don't think it's, necessarily out of ill intention.
Yeah.
And it's like they just want to take all that emotion off of you.
Yeah.
And they want to give you a break and handle it. But sometimes it's like, if anything, you're causing me more emotion because now I'm mad.
Well, it ain't even, it's that. But then it's also, now you got me looking like I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't, when you take it to the manager. So if I tell you, I told her something about the manager and her solution was, I'm about to go tell her off. I don't need you to tell her off for me.
Help anybody.
Well, because now she's going to be like, the manager's going to be looking at me like, oh, so Turra telling what I did, telling you, she talking to you about what I did. It just was not a good situation. And she kept doing it. And I was like, okay, she gets cut off. So I could never tell her anything anymore because she just used to get everything I would tell her in venting. She would want to go take care of it. And I'm like, girl, you can't take care of this for me. That lady was crazy. It was a traumatic time for me in my life. Like just telling that story just brought up some triggered me because I'm like, it was a crazy time. I don't know if you ever had that where you've been at work. There are times where I've been at work in my previous roles. I always have to say that because, people be listening. They be like, is she talking about now? This is not now. The job I have now is really lovely. It's lovely. Like they say in the UK, it's lovely. Like they eat something and they be like, oh, this is lovely.
Oh, love that for them.
Yeah, the job I have right now is lovely. But no, in my past, I've had times where I've had bosses that be like, I'm coming for you. And that is so hard. It's hard to get up and go to work every day when you have a boss that has made it their mission in life to make your day the worst or make your life the worst. That was a hard time. But I stuck it out and it ended up working out in my favor. But I guess, like I said, I just wanted to have this show so that we could just talk about coping mechanisms for when people are in your business or when you feel like, because guess what? Chelsi say it all the time. She loves the gossip.
I do. I love a little sip of the tea. Okay, this is just a funny story time.
Mm-hmm.
So as I just said, I love to gossip. So one day,
It's not good.
It's not. Well, one day I had got some gossip, and it was hot.
You had got some
I
gossip.
had got like someone had gave some
I know,
gossip
but
to me.
Is there a better way to say that? There was one time when I was gossip. What?
No,
I got some gossip.
Okay.
Yeah.
One time she got some gossip.
I got a little bit of gossip.
Uh-huh.
So I go and text one of my friends and I said, "Oh my gosh, I just got, tea is slang for gossip." So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, I just got some really good piping hot tea."
Mhm.
I said, "Really good piping hot tea."
Mm.
She goes, "OMG, what kind?" And because of how much me and this friend gossip, I was like, well, maybe she doesn't know about, we've been gossiping a lot lately, so maybe she doesn't know about like what situation. So it kind of goes over my head, and I was like, oh, about that one situation we were talking about the other day. And then she just like starts laughing, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I really thought that you had just really sat
She
down."
thought you was trying to get some
and
Earl Grey.
No, literally.
Is this the friend that I think it might be?
When she said what kind, she was wholeheartedly asking me what kind of tea I was drinking.
Because she didn't know the African American colloquialism
She
of
didn't
tea.
she just wasn't thinking. She was just literally thinking that I was just drinking some good tea and that I wasn't trying to gossip with her.
So now when you send her that, you have to be like, girl, I got some good tea, a.k.a. gossip. Like, do you think she would know this time?
Now, I think now because of the fact that we've had that situation, now if I were to ever say that, because now I just say it, now I just be like, oh, I got some tea today. Like,
Was the person black?
no, is white, blonde hair,
snow.
blue eyes.
That's who I thought it was. I thought it was that one.
So, yeah, but I
Poor sweet summer child.
I love my little blonde girls.
But listen, when you're gossiping, you know that you're spreading something else.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
But you're not making it. So do you like for people to tell your business?
I don't put my business out there for people to tell.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Keep my lips about myself Trump tight.
You like your daddy.
Like,
You tell everybody. You tell everybody business. You be dry snitching, and then when it comes to your stuff,
yep, keep it a good old tight.
have you ever told somebody something and they used it against you? Oh, I hate that. So like, there's been times where I've told somebody something, and I'll be, it just might be a story. Like, say for instance, back in the day, I might have got into it with Neil, and I tell somebody the story, and it's almost like they'll remember that and be like, well, that's why that happened.
Yeah.
And throw it up in your face.
So-
Oh, I hate that.
Something like that has happened to me before, and that person don't get
Yeah, you
much
cut them off.
from me.
Well, I cut them off because who wants stuff being thrown up in their face?
Ugh, I can't stand it.
Yeah, I don't throw my junk back up in my face. I told you that in the moment of whatever.
I told you that in confidence.
And confidence, and in a moment of weakness, because you probably, how sometimes something just happened, you be like, oh, let me tell somebody. I say had, because I don't really romp with this girl no more. But I had a friend that used to do that. Like, I would tell her a story, and months later, she would just say something, and she would like throw it in my face, and she'd be like, that's why blah, blah, blah happened. And I'll be like, what? Like, I will have forgotten that the thing happened, and she'll be like, I'm like, dang, you're just thinking about my stuff like that? It's on the tip of your tongue like that? Crazy. That was so crazy. But yeah, stay out of people's business. And when you find yourself getting in people's business, cut it off. Let it end with you. Chelsi,
Yeah.
you need to get better.
I'll try. No promises. No promises.
You need to stop it. Gossip is not good.
It's really not. It's really toxic,
feeds
especially
my
at
soul.
work. Oh my gosh,
It's super toxic.
Feeds my soul.
especially at work. Workplace gossip is actually kind of like,
And
the
in
worst.
families.
yes,
Families, it can be bad too.
families. I feel like it's bad because you can't escape them. Like, if you leave granted, it's not as easy to leave a job for the gossip, but like your family, like you kind of got to see them people.
But it's weird how it just will happen. Like, I remember I was younger, and I remember one day I was talking to my uncle and he was just telling me all this stuff. He was telling me about this person, that person, this person, that person. And I was just listening, right? Next thing you know, one of my cousins, I got really, really mad at me. And I was wondering why she wasn't talking to me and stuff. And I was like, what's going on? And then finally she was like, yeah, blah, blah, Uncle blah, told me this. And I was like, well, no. So actually what my uncle had done was all that stuff that he was telling me, he went back to her and told her that I said it. And I was like, so I had to, I'm so glad she brought it up because most people wouldn't bring it up. You know, they'll just be, mad at you. But when she brought it up, I said, girl, when I was on the phone with him, he told me that stuff. I just was listening. So, like you said, you can't escape, but you can learn from it. Mm-hmm. So I know now, I'll be like, I don't let him gossip to me. I don't let him tell me stuff because it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm like, you need to get on somewhere. But yeah, it's hard. Gossip is hard. Tell yourself it's not your business. Chelsi.
Yeah.
Tell yourself it's not your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not. And that'll stop it. That'll cut it. Ariel works at a place where they have a no gossip policy.
My job has a no gossip policy.
I think all jobs have it because it's a big problem. But Ariel, do y'all stick to the no gossip?
I think we try to. I will say that I do think we try to. I at least try to, because my thing about it is this: I don't like to complain. I don't like to talk to people about things, especially in the workplace, that can't fix the problem for me.
Yes.
Like I don't like if I have a problem with like a certain situation, I would much rather like talk to the person that can solve the problem or the person that made the mistake, so that way it doesn't happen again. Yeah. Because usually if I like, just by the way that like my job is like structured, if it gets to me, it's not a good sign.
Yeah. And that you just brought up a good point. I thought of this when you said that. Sometimes so say me and you and Chelsi work together. Mm-hmm. So if I've made a mistake on something that you gave me, why would you go to Chelsi and tell Chelsi not come to me?
Right.
That grinds my gears. Because how can I fix it if you go to her?
Right. Because maybe you didn't know that you were doing it wrong. Maybe you were just trained wrong. So,
or maybe you just didn't know, and that's the time to get alerted, so everybody around you knows.
But the person
you've gossiped,
the mistake.
But you didn't tell me, so I can stop doing it.
Right. That's so pointless to me. Yeah.
And it happens a lot. It happens more than you think, because you be like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Why didn't you tell me that? Or they'll slip up and be like, yeah, because I was telling blah, blah, blah. Was it my mistake or their mistake? Was it something that I needed to update, or do they need to? Why did you tell them and not tell me? I don't like that. That's that grinds my gears. So people stop. Think about it. Think about a couple of things before you go.
Stop. Collaborate and listen.
All right, that's enough of that.
What is that, a rap?
Yes.
Stop. Collaborate and that's you're funny. We always singing some songs on here. We still don't take it personal. Oh, you didn't do your poll.
I did.
You need to get it up.
I forgot.
It's not too late.
Okay.
Do it. Right. It's never too late. Just like that time when I promised them, because I want to be a woman of my word. When I promised them that I was going to show them the Christmas tree, it was after Christmas, but I posted it. I was like, I said I was going to do it. I got to do it. Got to do it. Okay. So this was a quick show, a quick part 2. Because like I said, something had... Chelsi, stop. Why are you looking at me?
I thought when your lashes was turned down. You know me. I can't just not look. I just can't look at somebody's face.
Anyway, so this was just a quick show. Just giving some tips. Like I said, my new way that I'm combating it with myself, because I like gossip too. I ain't gonna lie. I like a good story. I like to sip on a good cup of tea every now and again. But I'm really trying to turn a corner. And lately I just been like, because like I said, for me, I don't know if it's like this for everybody. For me, when I start getting in people's business, I'm going to start judging. Because I'm going to start thinking, why did they do that? They shouldn't have did it. Like, I'll go down the road, baby. And I'll go down the rabbit hole with your stuff. So I just been nipping it in the bud lately. I just been thinking, it's none of your business. Whatever they decide to do. Like, Ariel, you just did something recently, and I was going to get in your business about it. It was something. I can't even remember what it was specifically. You did something, and I was going to be like, well, why would you do that? But I was like, you know what? It's none of my business.
No, I want to know what it was.
You know what? I can't remember, but I just remember saying I cut myself right at the neck, and I was like, it's none of my business. I can't even remember what it was specifically.
Okay.
But
if it's important, you'll remember.
No, because it wasn't my business. Literally, it was not my business. So I cut it at the neck, and then I don't even remember what it was. But like I said, you're grown. It wasn't my business to be in. Right. Neil does it sometimes. Like, he'll be like I'll ask him something about you, like, did Ariel tell you about this, or did she tell you that? And he'll be like, I don't know. And I'll be like, are you mad? What is happening right now? She's a grown woman. A grown woman that lives with her parents, but that's okay. Do y'all? Let me ask you this, and then we're gonna close this show out because I'm about to be in y'all
because
business.
this is also something that people be in our business about as well. Because I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about being the age that you are and still living at home?
Honestly, full transparency.
Yeah.
I don't feel no type of way about it. I genuinely do not feel a way about it.
I think especially because of the pandemic and just the way this economy is right now, I think it's a lot more normalized for us to be our age and to live at home, Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that people antagonize me or come at me because of the fact that I'm my age and I still live at home.
They don't.
No, they don't, but
I think
you know me. Come for you, Ariel?
I think you've got one or two. I think you've got two camps, and this is the response.
Two schools of thought.
Two schools of thought. I've got the people that are like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky that you have parents that do that are like very much like stay at home for as long as you can because these bills out here are real. Mm-hmm. And then there's the school of thought of, oh, you still live with your parents, therefore you're spoiled. And that is the most incorrect way of looking at it that I've ever seen. Because
that's crazy.
Especially in like me and Chelsea's situation, I feel like. Because we actually we contribute to the household. We pay rent. Mm-hmm. We pay our phone bill. We buy our groceries when we want things all of those kinds of things.
I buy the core and y'all buy the little incidentals or whatever.
Right. And even still, we'll do little grocery runs on our own and stuff like that. So I don't feel at all. Of course, I wouldn't feel like I'm spoiled. I feel like I'm very lucky and very blessed to have parents that are okay. That I didn't have parents that were like, all right, you're 18, you got to move out now.
Right.
Because if and when I do decide to have kids, I'm not going to be like that.
Yeah, you should. My school of thought is this. As long as you doing what you need to do, following, and it ain't rules, but as long as you can follow the rules of the house, and not be disrespectful and do what is supposed to be done, I don't have a problem. And that's how my mother was. My mother, like I just told you, I didn't move out till I was 23, and that's only because I got married. And I used to tell my mother, literally, I used to sit there and I used to say, Mom, I'm not leaving. And she used to be like, what? Mom, I'm never leaving. When you go, I'm going. Because that's how close I was to her. I mean, we wasn't, battling about nothing. I came and went how I needed to come and go. But yeah, I think sometimes as a parent, we think that we're doing our kids a service by saying, okay, you're grown. First of all, I just asked somebody this recently. Who said the thing that 18 was grown? Is it because,
oh my gosh,
where did that number come from?
Literally, because I'm 27 and I don't feel grown.
Yeah. So, but I just want to know who came up with that. Oh, you're 18. You need to get out. Oh, you're 18. You're grown. Some people like to fly the coop early. And if that's what you want, that's what you do. It makes it a little harder depending on where you are in life. But listen, the reason I used to want to stay at home as long as I could, because I knew my bag was a lot bigger staying at home.
It is.
Because the rent that my mother charged me was nothing like what the apartment was going to charge me.
100% facts.
So, I was like, I'm staying here as long as I can. I'm renting this room as long as I can. And then my mother is just she spoils you. Like, I didn't realize it until, like, after I got out. And Chelsi can attest, she going to do them dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just going to take care of everything.
And
she
now
gonna
I'm
cook
trying
the
to go
food.
back, and now other people in her life done ruined it. And she won't let me, but
And she
that's
got
neither
room
here
over there.
or. I know she do.
She told me, wait a minute, I just went over to her condo. My mother just moved into a new condo. And I went over there. She has 3 bedrooms and it's just her. And so one of the rooms was, she doesn't have much furniture in there. It's kind of laid out. And she was like, I was going to make this a guest room. But then if I do that, people going to think they can come and live with me. And
Absolutely.
I was like, yeah, because somebody wants to. You don't want to live with my mother.
I do. I really do.
Okay.
I really do.
I'd rather live with you, Mom.
I really
I
do.
think I'm good.
And it ain't even that. What Chelsi don't know, bless my mother's heart, that rent, she don't charge like I charge. You gonna pay.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well get your own. That's what I'm saying. And I'm telling you, when I used to live with my mother, the more bags I used to come home with, she'd be like, oh, by the way, rent is now cha-ching. And I used to be like, what? She would go up on you and the rent increases like she was
exponential.
Yes. Like it was so many rent increases. I used to be like, okay, whatever. But anyway, but I was going to say this one thing. This is why I asked you guys that. I'll never forget. And this is the thing. I think back sometimes and I'm like, people get you sometimes when you're in a vulnerable state. So when Neil and I were married, on 2 occasions, we moved back in with my mother, like to save money to buy a house. But that went a little, it didn't go as planned. But anyway, we moved. I remember back in Michigan, my mother had bought a house and she lived out in Ypsilanti. You were small. Chelsi was newborn. And I just was like, we wanted some relief because stuff was tight. And so I was like, Mom, can we move in with you? And she let us, so we could save money. She let us. And it was so crazy because I never really told people at my job that that's what happened. And one of these girls that I work with, I never forget. I'm not going to say her name, but this girl, she used to just come for me all the time, every little thing. And so one time she was like, you live with your mother. She overheard me talking to my boss. And I was saying that I lived with my mom and I had 2 small kids, and my husband. I was saying me and my husband and my kids live with my mother. And I remember she was like, that is so stupid. Like right out of her mouth. That is so stupid. Why you ain't grown? Why do you live with your mother? A person who's grown, you should have your own. I mean, I'm telling you, she went on a rant for 15 minutes about my business.
Was she gonna pay your bills? Because she talking like she.
But you know what it was? When I think about it in hindsight, she was jealous because she was not married. I want to say she had like 3 or 4 kids. It was crazy because she was not old and she had 3 or 4 kids and she was struggling, right? We didn't make a lot of money at that job. She was struggling. And so instead of her saying, dang, I wish that was me, because that's what a lot of people would say, like, dang, I wish my mother would let me move back with them and give me the opportunity to save. She took it from the point, her jealousy wouldn't let her see it. But whatever it was, I wasn't even talking to her first. Second, it wasn't her business. Mm-hmm. If I live with my mother with 10 kids, that's my business. And so, but she was so nasty about it. Like, she's like, you ain't grown. And I think it was something she called me and I was like, oh, I just didn't like her. She was she was a bully. She was definitely a bully. And she, ever since that day, she would come in and be like, there she go. It was crazy. She'd be like, there she go, live at home with her mother. Mm. But you could see it for what it was, is she was jealous of me. And I was like, because Chelsi, what do I always say?
Everyone's always jealous of you.
Well, if they don't like me. Yeah. What else? I'm a likable person. What else could it be?
Hey, who knows?
But anyway, all right. Well, did y'all have anything else to contribute to the?
No.
business.
I feel like we summed it up pretty well.
I think we covered everything with this one.
Yeah. So there you go. Company. Chelsi, you not wrapping this one up?
No, y'all bullied me the last time.
Oh my
Not
God.
wrapping it up
You're
again.
Not wrapping it up. Okay. Well, company, we appreciate your listenership as usual. Follow us on our social media platforms because we need you. And that's where you get all the updates, right? But I think everybody knows by now that this is a show that is here to stay. And so keep listening. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are a little bit shy of our 30. We're not a little bit shy. We're a lot shy. So go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when new episodes. Our episodes launch. So fun fact, let me just say this real quick before we go. I always say I'm going to wrap it up. I'm like a preacher. I'm closing and then they start back preacher. I'm just think of that.
You can bring the band up here. They can start playing me out. They're playing for 10 minutes.
Right. So I just think of that when you think of me closing, when I close the show out. But sometimes people get confused about podcasts. So let's real quick educate them. We record these podcasts. They're not live. So our new shows launch every Sunday. They're available every Sunday for you to enjoy. And we launch them every week. Because I was talking to somebody and they were like, oh, they're not live. And I'm like, no, you don't have to catch them. They're not a TV show. They're recorded. They're uploaded weekly and they're available every Sunday until we go on season finale. And then you get to break.
And you get to catch up.
Yep, you get to I said break. You get to catch up. So that's what I wanted to say. We thank you. And until the next episode, we say,
Okay, bye.
thank you for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We look forward to you joining us on the next episode. Until then, be inspired and enlightened.